Hi, Joshua. Thank you for taking the time to come in today. And it's so nice to see you again. So, today, I just want you to feel free and comfortable to share anything you want to share.
Mhm.
But before we dive into anything, I just want to remind you, I know I've told you this before, but I am I am required to share this information if I'm subpoenaed by the court, and I can share some information with my colleagues within this agency if I think it will be helpful and if I
Mhm.
need any help from them. Aside from that, anything you share with me here today, I won't share it with anyone else. And I just want you to feel comfortable and free and
Mhm.
take all the time you need. So, how did you find your way coming here today? How was it? I know it's raining outside.
It was I drove here, but so I've been like recently with like the starting of school and all of that, and then this COVID, and then having to pay rent, and then like social life. It's been really difficult. And it's actually I've developed like anxiety, like all these things.
Okay, so Joshua, I do understand from our past sessions that you are a student, and I really want us to talk about your school life today and how that is playing out and how you feel about everything that's going on. So, what is it about school that's making you anxious, that's making you uncomfortable? Would you like to share any of that with me?
Um, so with the new classes I've taken, I've been so distracted by all the other things in my life. I haven't been able to actually focus on any of the work. So it just ended up like snowballing. And then there's so many things that I have to finish in school, but then I have responsibilities like work and then rent, all of those things. And then all the stresses, like regular stresses, paying bills, all of that. It takes a toll sometimes. It's hard to keep up. It feels like I'm attacking a bunch of different things at the same time.
Yeah, I see how that can be really hard. And you keep saying that a lot of things happening in school at the same time, and you also have work, and you have all these things on your plate that you need to achieve. So there's a lot of things that you need to achieve.
Yeah, so yeah, I just feel overwhelmed. Like there's too many things I have to deal with, and it feels like I'm so separated from people. I'm just like really just dealing with it on.
So you say that you are feeling like there's a lot on your plate.
Yeah, I just feel overwhelmed. Like COVID forced us all inside, so all these online classes I have to deal with, and then the work piled on to each other. It messes me up. It feels like I don't have control of it, anything.
Oh, okay. You just say you just say that you just say that you're feeling overwhelmed and out of control.
Mm.
So do you want to talk to me more about that? Not being in control of your classes? Is it mainly because they're online, or were you feeling this way before when you are able to take classes in person?
I feel like it's just being online. Like I don't have the motivation to actually do the work sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and that ends up leading to me being behind on some work, and then that work I have to catch up on, and then the future work it just snowballs.
Okay, so have you talked or emailed to any of your teachers about how you're feeling, about other ways that they can help you, whether that's sending you assignments? So, Joshua, I would like for us to work on I would like to help you in in your process of making SMART goals. So, based on what you know, like what do you think would be helpful in your case when making goals? Like what type of goals will be helpful?
Maybe like having scheduled times for actually doing the work.
Okay.
Um, having having an area where I actually do the work.
Okay.
I feel like that's really it.
Yeah. Okay. So you want to make schedules and have deadlines for those schedules for,
Yeah.
and this will be mainly for your schoolwork, right?
No.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. And you are saying that you are feeling overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of thoughts come into your mind when you feel like this?
Like with the snowballing thing, it just feels like I'm just trying to stop something that can't be prevented anymore. Like it's too late. Like it's already developed to a point where there's no going back.
Okay, so you feel like you're not able to do well, you feel like you're not able to achieve or be successful in your studies.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want us to find a way together and to change this way of thinking because in CBT, the way you think really has a toll on your actions, on your behaviors. So what ways do you think we can work around your way of thinking?
I feel like I have a lot of negative talk, so probably developing a way to talk to myself that isn't negative.
Okay, so what give give me like examples of positive talk in your situation.
Mm, maybe I could, instead of approaching it from like a point of like I've already lost the battle,
Right.
I should approach it to like I lost a small fight, but I have to keep going.
So um so let's say you don't do well on one assignment. That means I haven't done well on this assignment, but that doesn't mean I have failed the whole class, the grade,
Yeah, I
right?
guess what I'm trying to say is like I take it like a personal blow instead of
Okay.
something like that's outside of me. So like when
Mm,
I feel like it's a attack on my character. I don't know how to say it.
okay. You take it personally, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's totally natural to feel like that. And a lot of people do feel like that. So don't feel like you're by yourself and you're thinking this way something's wrong with you because there's nothing wrong with you. But Joshua, so from from the past, before the grade that you're in right now, how did you feel about school?
I've always had a. It's just something I had to do. In my early life, it just felt like I'm just going there because it's what I had to do. I had to go to school. I had to do this. I had to do that. It was just responsibility of a student. So I never ended up developing like a relationship to how my schoolwork goes. I just do whatever I'm handed and then throw it away. Hope the teachers deal with it.
Okay, so Joshua, do you like school? Is there something like, is there a favorite subject?
Well, I do like classes where it's more hands-on. Like you can actually see the progress.
Mm-hmm. And specifically, like, let's say, which classes would those be?
I have a welding class that I actually do at my school. And there's welding, there's PE, there's fitness class. It's just classes that I can feel like the progress. I can see the progress too.
Okay. And from what you told me before, you also play sports at school.
Yeah.
Do you do these sports just because you feel like you're responsible for doing them, or um, do you like doing these sports?
do like doing these sports. Like it goes back to the thing with being hands on. Like I always feel like I have control when I'm playing sports. Like I know how to improve. I know how to keep like tabs on myself, stuff like that.
Okay. And at times, do you feel that because you have all these sports, you have all these responsibilities, you feel that it's getting in the way of your schoolwork?
Well,
Or is it the other way around?
I feel like the sports do get into like in the way of my schoolwork, but I also feel like it's a balancing game. Like I just have to balance the two. I don't feel like I can really do it without sports in my life.
Oh, okay. So you need to play sports.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so do you want us to work on a way that you can balance your school and sports and everything you have outside of school?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so Joshua, is there anything else aside from school, sports that's making you anxious?
No, nothing uniquely just me. It's just like regular stuff these days, like COVID. Like just stuff you have to be worried about.
Okay, so how do you feel about COVID
I've had
in
yeah,
relation to school?
like English school online, of course. Of course, I just feel more distance to. I feel like I'm just handed work from a mysterious entity, and I just have to do it and throw it away. I don't feel a relationship with my work.
Okay, so you said you don't feel like you have a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Is this because you're not able to see your teachers in person?
Yeah, that and the whole thing with not being able to see like progress in most classes.
Okay, okay. So you mentioned something there about not being able to see your progress, and I'm just wondering, do they ever send you like your grades or like they provide feedback?
Well, they do, but I don't see that as progress. I don't see that as progress. I just feel like that's just like a better grade. Like with the classes I'm talking about, like the welding and stuff like that, I can see myself that I've actually improved. My skills have actually improved from earlier times. Same with sports. I don't get that from other classes. I just feel like if I get a good grade, I was just like I did good this time.
Okay. Okay. So have you or do you journal how you feel?
No.
No? Okay. Is that something you'd be interested in? Like just writing down how you feel, like your thoughts, your feelings, your
Mm-hmm.
emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we can also, aside from journaling how you feel, we can also have a planner that
Mm-hmm.
helps you plan your day out,
Yeah.
rather than planning your whole semester out or the whole school year out and it making you overwhelmed.
Yeah.
How about like planning your day, every single day, and just seeing how it goes from there? Is that something you'd be interested in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And after like journaling things and planning out things, I also want you to tell me like in what ways do you think you're, because before you mentioned how you have like negative self talk, how does this influence your behaviors? Have you noticed a change in your behaviors or actions?
Um, I've always had like I've always needed a personal connection to something to
Mm-hmm.
have and like be enthusiastic about it.
Yeah.
So when if I don't develop that, I have to develop it in some other way. if it's not positive, it ends up usually becoming negative. So, like, I don't see, when I see success, I don't take it like, I don't take it as like, oh yes, I improved. I just see it as, okay, this time I got this grade, this time I did this.
Mm-hmm.
But when I have an actual relationship with what I'm doing, I feel like this is a part of me and this is something that I'm doing. This is the result of my own hard work. I don't really get that from classes.
Okay. Yeah. Like I do get that. I understand where you're coming from. And Joshua, do you find that you procrastinate on schoolwork? Or do you think that once you have things, you do them right away? Or do you wait to do them later?
Um, yeah, I do procrastinate a lot because I don't think like just always becomes a like the work always becomes ends up like second thought and afterthought, something I delay because I don't have enthusiasm. So I always dread having to do this work, and I haven't built up the tolerance to actually just grind through it because I don't see any progress to like in it.
Okay, so Joshua, you mentioned that you haven't developed that tolerance to
Mm-hmm.
grind through it. Is that what you say?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how do you think I can be of help, or how do you think it can help you to build that tolerance?
I feel like just being able to have somebody to talk to about this, a
Mm,
professional,
okay,
just I feel like they can help me understand myself better.
understand yourself. Okay, so Joshua, I do thank you for opening up and telling me about, your stress, and I do understand that that's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
And today I want us to work on those SMART goals. As you're going home, I just want you to think of some goals that you would like to achieve and goals that are realistic and you feel like we can achieve within the time that we do have together.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to encourage you to also take the time to make those goals really specific,
Mm-hmm.
so that you don't get overwhelmed. Like you mentioned, you're getting overwhelmed because you have a lot of things that are piling up and you feel like it's a snowball,
Yeah.
right? And where you say that you don't have anyone to talk to. So you remember when we talked about journaling?
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh no, that's fine. So when we talked about journaling, so at times when you feel like you have no one to talk to, because everyone around you seems so busy, they have a lot of things going on,
Mm-hmm.
I would encourage you to take that time to journal how you feel, write down your feelings, and also why you're feeling that like that, because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we feel things, sometimes we go through things, but we don't know exactly why we are feeling this way. And like, let's say, for example, you talked about procrastination, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you might be procrastinating, but you don't know why exactly you feel like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just taking that time to write down how you feel and we can go from there. How do you feel about that?
Sounds good.
Do you feel like that's helpful, or do you feel like that will just be something else added on top of what you have to do?
No, I feel like that could help me.
You feel like it could help you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Joshua, so the next time you come back, um, I would like you to bring in your journal,
Yeah.
and whatever you feel like sharing, you can share it here because it's a safe place.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I want you to really take that time to examine how you're feeling, you
Yeah.
know? And aside from school, and you mentioned because of the times we are in right now due to COVID, aside from all of that, do you feel like you're doing well?
Well, yeah.
Okay. Okay. I just want to remind you that you're not alone, and a lot of people are having feelings like this. They're feeling overwhelmed, and I know school stress is really big. So I need you to take that time to just take one step at a time when it comes to school. If you don't mind me asking, Joshua, what grade are you in?
Great time.
You're grade 10. Oh, that's interesting. So you're approaching the time that you'll have to either go to college or work, whatever you decide, you're approaching that time, right? Yeah. So have you had thoughts of what you'd like to do?
Yeah, I've been thinking about. Um, uh, I haven't been fully decided, but I've been thinking about what I would do post secondary,
Okay. So,
or if I want to get into like a trades program instead of going to a post secondary.
okay. So Joshua, again, like we spoke before, it it can get overwhelming when you start thinking of the future like that, with a lot
Yeah.
of things in the future. With, you mentioned like trade school or college or all these things, it can get overwhelming. But I want you to think about where you're at right now,
Yeah.
as you're in grade 10, and how you're doing in your classes right now, and how you're feeling.
Yeah.
And as we meet, we can start talking about other things if you feel comfortable enough, or
Okay.
if you want to talk about those things. But for today, I want to thank you so much for coming in,
Yeah.
and don't forget about what we talked about. And I'll see you next time. Is that okay with you, Joshua? Is there anything else you'd like to tell me before
No, I'm good.
your everything's good?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Joshua, thank you so much for coming in. And when you go to the receptionist, she can let you know when to come in next.
Okay.
Yeah, and are you going back to school or are you going home?
I'm gonna go on.
You're going home, you're done for the day, you have no sports, nothing?
No.
Okay, yeah. So, Josh, I want to congratulate you for coming in today and really sharing what you had to share. And even as you go home, I want you to, relax, take some time to yourself,
Yeah.
and do all the things we promised each other. And I'll see you next time.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Joshua.